Mel Feliciano, the choreographer and former husband of veteran dance teacher Anna Feliciano, posted a short but deeply felt public farewell following Anna's death, thanking her for caring for their son Rupert and offering an apology for the pain of their separation. Anna passed away on October 24, 2025, after suffering a heart attack in San Mateo, Rizal. News of her death quickly reached colleagues, students, and the wider dance community, who gathered to mourn and remember her influence. Mel's daily vigil at Anna's wake. Those present at the wake described Mel's attendance as steady and quietly attentive. He was reported to have been at the visitation across the days. It was open, moving between public hours and private moments with family members and close collaborators, listening to recollections and assisting with practical arrangements. Observers noted that his presence was composed and purposeful rather than performative. He hovered near family as they managed flowers, program details, and visits from former students and colleagues. And he often chose the edges of group conversations, stepping forward when a memory needed a factual correction or a logistical hand. The Paalam Anna message that made everyone cry. Mel's short social media post captured public attention for its blunt intimacy. He began with Paalam Anna, then expressed gratitude for what he learned from their separation. Most importantly, lessons about fatherhood, and thanked Anna specifically for caring for their son, Rupert. He closed the message with Patawad, a simple apology that many readers found disarmingly human and powerfully reconciliatory. The economy of the message, gratitude and apology in a few lines, cut through the usual ceremonial language of public mourning and seemed to model a form of closure that foregrounded parental duty and personal accountability. Anna Feliciano's dance legacy. At the wake and in subsequent remembrances, Anna's career was the central subject of conversation. A teacher and choreographer whose exacting standards, musical sensitivity, and investment in young dancers shaped generations of performers. Colleagues and former students recalled how her rehearsal rooms doubled as mentorship spaces where discipline was taught alongside practical career navigation. Her signature combinations of timing, clean lines, and distinctive hand and port de bras gestures were not merely technical marks, but shared vocabularies that alumni could perform as tribute. Tiny sequences executed in the chapel or at memorial gatherings that carried immediate recognition and deep emotional charge. Son Rupert thanks Mel for being there. Rupert Feliciano publicly acknowledged the support of family and friends during the wake, and specifically thanked Mel for his presence and practical help with arrangements during the family's period of mourning. Rupert's remarks, circulated by relatives and reported by media, framed the moment as a family duty shared by people who had their own complicated histories. The emphasis was less on past romantic conflict and more on a cooperative response to loss, an insistence that parental responsibilities and mutual care superseded old grievances in the days that followed Anna's passing. Dancers honor Anna at her wake. Rather than relying solely on eulogies, dancers responded to Anna's death in the medium she prized: movement. Short choreographic homages, compact phrases from her repertory, signature lifts, and rhythmic motifs were offered by former students and peer companies. These tributes tended to be small and exact. A handful of counts that clustered into a phrase everyone who trained with her would recognize. A particular hand shape repeated as a sign of respect. A precise pause that had been drilled in class. Witnesses said these embodied remembrances converted grief into a communal, kinesthetic memory, allowing dancers to grieve through the very practice that Anna had made central to their lives. A story of reconciliation and respect. Across the wake's public and private moments, a through line emerged: reconciliation. Mel's succinct public apology and thanks, Rupert's acknowledgement of family support, and the professional community's choreographed tributes together narrated a version of closure that prioritized care, accountability, and the sustaining ties of artistic kinship. Longtime collaborators observed that Anna and Mel had remained orbitally close in Manila's dance networks for years, and that the professional respect they shared often outlasted personal ruptures. The wake, therefore, read as a culmination of that dynamic, an occasion for repair enacted by words, actions, and the disciplined bodies of Anna's students. Personal remembers and a human picture. Beyond headlines and statements, small personal recollections gave texture to Anna's life. Former students spoke of long afternoons in the studio when she would correct timing with a single hand gesture, of the quiet reprimand that redirected a young career, and of the unexpected kindnesses, paying for audition fees, recommending struggling dancers for small roles, or staying late to fine-tune a solo. Colleagues told stories of Anna's stubborn devotion to musicality, how she would insist on listening to a track repeatedly until a phrase had the right weight, and of the warmth that underpinned her sternness. The weekly potluck that followed long rehearsals, the handwritten notes that accompanied encouragement, the ritual of insisting everyone bowed to one another before leaving the studio. Community response and ongoing memorials. Tributes extended beyond the wake into benefit classes, memorial performances, and online compilations of Anna's choreography and teaching clips. Local companies and independent teachers announced plans for short fundraising classes where proceeds would support a scholarship or a memorial fund in her name. While a number of venues slated small, public tributes where alumni could perform short pieces. These acts of collective remembrance served two purposes. They honored Anna's commitment to training and access, and they created practical mechanisms to continue her pedagogy by supporting new dancers who might otherwise lack resources. Closing. Legacy of teaching, parenting, and practice. Anna Feliciano's passing has prompted a reckoning with the goods of a life devoted to an exacting craft. Technical standards that persist in students' bodies, an ethic of mentorship that prioritized career durability over instant applause, and a model of professional generosity that kept community stages staffed and learning spaces open. Mel's simple Paalam Anna, Rupert's public thanks, and the dancers' embodied tributes together form a final chapter that blends apology, gratitude, and ritualized remembrance, suggesting that closure can be both practical and effective. In the weeks and months to come, the dance community and Anna's family will likely formalize some of the memorial projects already discussed, ensuring that a lifetime of discipline and kindness continues to shape new practitioners and to hold the memory of a teacher who moved people in body and in spirit. Mel's brief farewell, Rupert's gratitude, and the choreographic homages at Anna's wake show how a community stitched together respect, accountability, and mourning, turning personal sorrow into collective care and securing a legacy rooted in teaching, artistry, and mutual support.